Imagine if a company known for producing the F-117 stealth fighter built a ship. Exactly that occurred throughout the Cold War. A ship that was made to be radar invisible was created by Lockheed's renowned Secret Projects Division, the Skunk Works. This exceptional vessel was the Sea Shadow. The project's beginnings can be traced back to 1978, when it was discovered that the F-117's angled lines would also lessen a sonar signature. An idea for a submarine with comparable faceted lines was born as a result, however it was never developed. As an alternative, a fresh concept was developed: create ships that are invisible to radar. The effectiveness of stealth shapes and coatings on surface boats is being tested by Lockheed's Skunk Works under contract with the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. Additionally, the iron ferrite coating's resistance to seawater was being examined. Making the ship undetectable to radar satellites as well as surface radars used by adversarial ships was the aim. In order to follow ships at sea and report their whereabouts to commanders, the Soviet Union was operating the RORS satellite. To these formerly all-seeing eyes in space, the P-310 demonstration platform would be imperceptible. A swath design was used for the hull form. Small water area twin hulls have the ability to travel very quickly while remaining remarkably stable in rough seas. It was possible to create an upper hull with a sharp angle because to the double hulls, which gave the ship an entirely unique appearance. Contrary to first impressions, the angled lines are really less obvious. The sides and top are actually somewhat tilting backwards if you look attentively. Between 1983 and 1984, the ship's components were put together in a floating hangar in San Francisco Bay. The Hughes mining barge, HMB-1, hangar was the perfect place for the covert project to be housed. In order to complete the project, Lockheed hired naval architects from nearby companies. Every strategy was written down because it was the 1980s. Even in the present, the ship may appear futuristic, but the ground-level technology is difficult to comprehend. In 1985, trials for Sea Shadow began. Being primarily a demonstrator and testing platform, it lacked weapons, but there have been plans to equip it with a sizable radar. In the payload bay, through a sizable door, this was to be inserted. The alteration project began, however it was abandoned early on. The installation of Patriot air defense missiles on comparable vessels was another suggestion. Regular surface ships might not need to operate before these. Sea Shadow's technology offered promise, and the ship was put through extensive testing during that time. After the Cold War ended, the ship was eventually retired in the mid-1990s. There was never a request for a fleet of entirely stealthy swath battleships. In the end, she was the only vessel of her kind. She was tragically dismantled for scrap in 2012 as well. An honorable way to cap off a visionary ship design that, 35 years later, is still unique.